Hey YouTube, how's it going? We're here. We're back with My Hero chapter 382. Real quick, if you could like the video for me, please, I greatly appreciate it. We're coming off of the light of Balder. We're coming off the light of Balder. We had Tokoyami not envelop the storm, but use the storm to his advantage to take Dark Shadow and go like the big abyssal form and launch this attack at All For One. And All For One actually, like, for the second time in this series, we've seen it happen. Oh no, when was the first time that happened? Where he was like, I need to dodge. This is the second time he's done it. I want to say, damn, I don't remember, but this is the second time we've seen All For One be like, I need to move because this might do some damage. So that's where we left off. Not gonna waste any time. We'll top in. All right. 382. Don't let him go. I'm assuming they're talking about All For One when they say this. In that moment, these two men came to realizations. That's Hawks, okay. And that's All For One. He gave that femme fatale just the tool she needed to bring ruin to all. Liar. Okay. Why am I freaking confused when he's... What femme fatale are they talking about? Yeah, the arc is short. I think that's the one complaint a lot of people can say. I feel like they got the point across, but I would love to see more of it. I don't know if I'd want to see Deku suffer more, because that's not what I want to see from that arc. But yeah, 100%, it was a short arc. But I feel like it wasn't cheap how we got to where we got to with Deku. I'll say that. Like, it was short and effective. It wasn't cheap. We just wish we could have gotten more. All right. These two men came to the realizations that the situation was not as optimal on one side, as disastrous on the other side, as it could have been. All For One. Trying to see if I can. This is a bunch of the Toga Twices. You got Dabi. You have Shigaraki. It's not good. This is not good. This is not good. All right, next. Hold on. So, Shigaraki clone touches the ground. Seems like nothing happens. He makes a face, and then bang! It's just like it goes off. Or am I mistaking this? Am I mistaking what's happening right here? I feel like I'm mistaking what's happening here. Let me. Shigaraki clone touches the ground. Nothing happens. He makes a stank face, and then this happens. Is this like a delay? Did it not work? Let me continue. Context clues will fill me in. This may be wishful thinking, but as bad as things are, they could be worse. If her first move had been to transform into All For One or Dabi, and then make doubles of them, we'd have been doomed. But that's not how it played out. Our only hope of victory is the reason behind that. Oh. So, hold on. I want to try to mentally figure this out before the series just spells it out for me. So what we're saying is Toga, who has now like awakened to the point where she can use the quirk of the people she takes blood from. If she turns into Twice and then as Twice tries to copy someone and use the copied person's quirk, it won't work. But if she just were to outright take All For One's blood and turn into All For One, she, in theory, should be able to use All For One. That is that what I'm getting? Is that what I'm getting? I feel like that's what I'm getting at. Before the series just spells it out for me. I think that's what I'm getting at. So that's when everyone's saying, like, as bad as it is, it could be worse, right? If they were able to use their quirks, we would all be done. But it's now it's just numbers. It's a numbers game. We're just gonna get outnumbered. I wonder if the Shigaraki clones are super strong. I wonder if the Shigaraki clone. But the whole thing, take that back. It's because the Shigaraki's awakening. Can they not use? Can she not use the quirk because it's not up to date? Like, remember, Twice had to continually update the measurements in order to make accurate clones. But because he's in the fight with Deku, and it's now Shigaraki in control, the measurements, quote unquote, are not updated. So now the Shigarakis can't use their quirk. Maybe. I don't know. I'm fishing. Let me actually read what the series has for me. Let me actually read. All right, let me start from the top again. If her first move had been to transform into All For One or Dabi and then make doubles of them, we'd have been doomed. Excuse me. We don't even know if she could use the quirk. If she could use it like that. Can she ingest two people's blood at the same time? And we don't even know if she could do that. But that's not how it played out. Our only hope of victory is the reason behind that. We know that clones created by the original Twice's double quirk could use their own quirks, yes. But based on what you learned, your Avity, when Himiko transforms, she can only use that person's quirk if she loves them. Okay. Some sort of compatibility issue, maybe? Either way, it seems like Himiko's own restriction applies to the double she creates after transforming into Twice. So I was just galaxy braining. Okay, if so, can we assume her love doesn't extend to Shigaraki and those others? And that's why she can't use their quirks. Okay. Is this a way that we're gonna see the fact that Toga really doesn't align with them, right? And in an attempt to redeem her, quote unquote redeem her. You get what I mean? And in a quote unquote beginning stages of trying to redeem her, that she doesn't really love them, even though we know that they all care about each other. You don't have to be in love with someone or love someone to care about them. But I wonder if this is the beginning stages of that. Interesting. But her love is weird anyways, right? Let me zoom in. I'm trying not to look in these panels. Come on. There we go. I may be off the mark, but in an extreme situation like this, a single emotion could overwrite that restriction at any second. Okay. That's why it's imperative that we track down the original Himiko quickly. We don't even know where she is. Could she still be on the island? If all that's true, what might give her away? Why? Do you think she would try to get closer to someone that she cared about? We'll make sure that Dead Man's Parade keeps marching. All heroes must die. I love Tomura and Toya, but unlike Jin and Ochako, their quirks aren't working for me. All heroes must die. Even when I tested it before the big battle, nothing. Even though I love them to bits, even though that love should be there, Even though Jin's quirk works for me. I'm not figuring this out. Oh. Oh, why can't I become Jin? That's interesting. Huh. I didn't even think about that. But where is she? That's what I want to know. Where is she? All heroes must die. She's conflicted, bro. She is. All right. Zoom in. She's always loved seeing happy people. Dude, this is a crazy looking panel. I'm not lying. This panel looks real. Oh, there she is. She's right there. This looks crazy. So of course she zeroed in on her tears. It's weird. This looks like Twice but not look like Twice. It's weird. It looks like Twice but not look like Twice. Like it looks like Twice, kinda, but has her eyes in a Twice way. It's weird. It's very weird. Huh. Alright. That's Tokuyami. Keep it up, Tsukuyomi. Pin him down and run out the clock. I want to go back to that after we finish up. He's probably he's probably invincible right now. But time's not on his side. So Hawks is in there with him. We got Endeavor to thank for trashing him once already. Wow, English. Now let's put a stop to him here. Provide Dark Shadow with cover, block the light. Fuel his darkness. Realsy? How about an Aurora Night Sky from my Glamour quirk? KK? Oh gosh, I can't believe I said that. We gotta stop Toga from making more of herself. Inasa is bleeding from his head. I'm here to support everyone from every angle. Whoa. Dude, look at that freaking shockwave. Look at that shockwave. Obnoxious as ever. Bruisers who impose with brute force. He's about to get ignorant, isn't he? Oh, he's younger. He's still, yeah, so he's still rewinding. Dude, how old is he? He looks like a teenager right here. What the heck? Oh no, we're gonna have little Shotakon. We're gonna have little Shota All For One running around in a little bit. Little 12-year-old All For One scurrying about the battlefield. All right, he's even younger now. His eyes look, eyes look mad evil. Oh, he's taking off. I was trying to figure out what was happening. It looks like he's trying to take off. Look at all the bodies just being strewn about. All right, we need darkness, not so fast, you. Here's a gale to boost you towards him. He ain't getting away. These two men came to realizations. The bro probably lost like 80 years and he hasn't done nothing yet, right? He gotta, like, he's old. Like, he is old. These two men came to realizations that the situation... Where are we looking off in the distance? What was that big explosion over there? Is that Deku and Shigaraki? Yeah, he really lost. He did. That the situation is mock. All right, was actually perfectly optimal. The narration, okay, so I'm really starting to lose my respect for this guy. The narration, I got to go back from the beginning. Once we finish, I'm going to go back and just read the narration, because the narration right now is being split for Hawks and for All For One at the same time. So the narration is applying for both of them, probably until the end of the episode where we get the twist where it's like, oh, for him or for the other side. All right. So we have Makia, this Inasa's wind propelling Tokoyami with All For One flying about. Flatten the Makia, he says, was actually perfectly optimal. That the situation was, and then Hawks is like, not quite the disaster it looks like. Right, Tsukauchi? Wait a second. Makia, oh, what are we doing? He's like, what, how? He's like, it's you pest. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. I actually need to read this. All right. Yo, Tokoyami, we're here too. We can't let that dude reach Midoriya and Shigaraki. Oh, wow. All right. Now, let me start from the beginning, and I just want to read the narration through. In that moment, these two men came to realizations, yes, that the situation was not as optimal, and then on the other side, as disastrous as it could have been. Okay? And then I want to look for the dialogue boxes, just the narration. She always love seeing happy people, so of course she zeroed in on her tears. That doesn't require to this. Jumping back over to the situation. We're back here. These two men came to realizations that the situation was actually perfectly optimal. That the situation was we don't get a follow-up to that though. Actually, in my flashback, how they got Gigantomachia. I think so too. I think we might get this filled in. I didn't see this coming whatsoever. I promise you, if you would have asked me, what do you think Makia is going to come in? I would have been like, I forgot about Makia. I'm so serious. I would have been like, I completely forgot about Makia. Like, I didn't think about Makia in this conflict, even though it would make sense that Makia would have to show back up. Why would you, if you're the villains, why would you not try to get your hands on Makia in some form or fashion? But now, what I want to know is, what did Kirishima do? One, because Kirishima is beat up. But what did he do? Because Makia doesn't act without orders. He doesn't act without orders. He just stays dormant. So what did they do? Did they provoke him to do something, and then Shinso, or they played a recording of All For One or something, and then you could do anything. Shinso could have he could be talking in All For One's voice, but I don't even know. Yeah, it would work because of how his quirk works. That would work. Hopefully Kirishima fought Rappa. I don't think they'd fight again. I'm trying to figure, they probably did record his voice and it would work. But I just wonder how the smell thing would work. Like in this whole situation, Makia would smell All for One. Would that be enough to overpower Shinso's brainwashing, or would we just keep doing this? I wonder. Kirishima fought somebody. I want to know who he fought because we don't know where Makia's been. I think the last I remember of Makia was them taking Makia away from the war, from the battlefield. I don't remember where they put Makia at because all the prisons got broken out that night, so I have no idea. Was Makia in the prison? What prison was he in? I don't remember. Yeah, he was being transferred. So we're saying that Makia got brought to Tartarus just to get broken out later that night, or they were protecting the prison that Makia was locked up in. So Makia was in the prison where Gentle was. Is that what we're saying? 352. Because I legit don't remember. Makia is something I haven't thought about in a while. I have to log in. $52. 53. 353. I am on 353. My misclick helped out. So let me hold on. It's crazy to think this was such a long time ago. Feels like it wasn't. Let me speed read all this. Jaku Hospital ruins outside Jaku. That's right. They built around. That's right. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I think because of all the prisons got broken out of, they built around Makia. Like they put Makia somewhere and then built a prison around him because there was nowhere to take Makia, because that, like, the same day all the prisons got broken out of. So that's what happened. Yeah. Just makes sense. That makes sense that would happen because there's literally nowhere to put him. Yeah. Rappa wasn't on this battlefield, no? I don't remember. Let me look. I don't remember Rappa being on this battlefield. It's the guy that killed Midnight, Kirishima, Mina. Yeah, but we don't know what prison Rappa got locked up in. I guess it's safe to assume he got locked up in Tartarus. But would Rappa still be fighting for the bad guys after that? After that fight with Kirishima? I feel like that's a good question. I feel like that's a good question. I don't think he would be. Just like how his honor works, I don't think he would be. Especially if Kirishima were to show up and Rappa were somewhere. I think he'd ride with Kirishima. I think so. Because Rappa was down with the Shihei Hasakai. I don't know if Rappa would just be cool like rolling with All for One and all that stuff. I don't think so. That's just my guess. It's just my guess. Kirishima threw down though. Right? Kirishima threw down though. Cause he's all bloodied and stuff. He threw down. he got to it. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. Excuse me. Rappa said the next fight he has with Kirishima, he wants a fight to the death. I think if this situation presented itself, Rappa's a savage, yes, but for some reason, when I think of Rappa, when I think of Rappa, I don't think if in the middle of this big skirmish, one, I don't even think Rappa would be in the middle of this big skirmish. That's just, I don't think he would be in the middle of this. That's what I'm thinking about. Like Rappa wouldn't be like running around like with other villains just flunking around with them. I don't think he would do that. I just don't. I think he might be around, but I don't know if he'd just be like, oh yeah, all for one, woo. I'm not saying they're all like that, but I don't think that's that's just how Rappa is. I think Rappa will probably snuff one of the bad guys. if anything, one of the villains. I just find it ironic how Toga always runs around talking about love while she's so out of touch with her own feelings that she can't properly use Twice's quirk. Yeah. Let me go back to this. I feel like this is interesting. It's interesting. A couple of weeks ago I said I don't care about seeing this. And I don't. But I will say they're giving me something that I can think about, and a cool panel. But they're giving me something that I can think about that I don't think I thought about before. So it's like, okay, I'll entertain it at least. But I in the grand scheme of All for One versus Hawks and Company, and Endeavor and Dabi and Deku and Shigaraki, this is last on the list of everything I want to see. But this whole situation of her not being able to properly use Twice's quirk, and Ochiko like figuring some stuff out, like she's getting her Deku brain on. That's what she's doing. She's using her Deku brain, being like, this girl is struggling to use the quirks for X reason, and Sue being like, well, we need to hurry up and end this, because what if she figures it out? Like, what if she figures it out? I'm not lying to you. I don't know how their fight ends. I don't know how their fight ends. I don't know how this ends. I don't. Like it's like, okay, so just let me speak out loud. Maybe I can figure this out. So right now, up to this point, how we understood Toga's quirk to work was that if she ingests blood, she can turn into the person that she ingests the blood of. And then that progressed to being able to use the quirk of someone's blood she ingests who she loves. And we got to see that from Ochiko specifically in MVA whenever she used it to kill the reporter chick and drop her from the sky. So that's how we knew this quirk to work. Now, when we're put in the specific situation, we know that Toga, it's weird that we know Toga likes Ochiko and Deku. Like, she loves them. But we knew that her and Twice, her and Jin, had a way closer relationship than any other character in the series. Any other character in the series. but she's not. It's I think it's so weird where. Step back. She usually has to turn into you to use your quirk. So how can she use twice his quirk without turning into him? Right? How is she able to use his quirk if she's not like if I'm taking this seriously, under these costumes, it's not a twice body, it's Toga. But I don't see boobies on any of these twices. So I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Toga she's just in her head. I feel like she might be in her head. Way too much in her head. I don't know. Because when I'm looking at these twices, none of these twices look female. They look masculine. So it's like I assume that there are a bunch of twices. I don't know. I have no idea. Or maybe if I zoom in on this one looks female. It'd be interesting if all the copies she's making look like twice, but if we get a close look at her, she looks like Toga dressed up in a twice costume. That would be funny. But I wonder if that could be the case. I don't know. Keeping on my theory that Toga's gonna escape all this nonsense. I think so too. What she's experiencing isn't love, in my opinion. It's obsession. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, this one, it's this twice right here. This is the Toga twice that is actually her, which is zoomed in on this one. But I was wondering, like, what if we look at this one and it's got boobs and it kind of looks like Toga dressed up in a twice costume? Like it's all the twices look the same. So if you like took a picture and look, it'd be like, I don't know which one it is, but it's the one that's crying that's got to be like these are eagle eyes, right? It's like how this, you know how eagle eyed you'd have to be to do that. It's raining. It's a storm. She's looking at the Toga twice that's crying and figured it out. What about the one that's not moving? I would have been like, it must be the one that's not moving. It must be that one. I don't know. She's super eagle-eyed. That's crazy. That is crazy. But I'm very curious about this, right? It's got me thinking. Like when Miss Martian transforms, she can only turn into a female version of whoever mimics. That would be, yeah, it would be funny. It would be funny if we got a closer look at this twice and it was a twice that looked like Toga. A female twice. It'd be funny. But if she makes copies, it could be regular twice. And that's all the twices we see running around. And then that would answer this, how come I can't become Jin? I think that'd be funny. It'd be funny. It would be. It would be. Like now I'm really trying to zoom in. Hori won't like this. Like I'm trying to zoom in all the direct shots. It looks mad. They're mad tiny. Can't really tell nothing. All right. Got me to think. I feel like somebody's got to go, right? One of these kids on this battlefield gonna go. It's like Naruto. It's gonna be the one that doesn't make sense. It's just like, why'd you kill him? It's like Naruto. It's not gonna make any sense. The person that ends up dying. But I feel like one of these kids gotta go. I do. I feel like one of them has to go. It's gonna be Asui. See now Asui wouldn't hurt. I mean, I wouldn't hurt. I mean, wouldn't not make sense. That's one thing. If it was Sue's in a situation where if she were to go, I would understand. Like in Naruto, like Neji made no sense. it made no sense at all, especially the way it happened. Like it just felt like, oh, I get to kill somebody. Who can I? Well, I can't kill none of them. They're too popular. But Neji is super popular too. Well, I don't know how popular Neji was in Japan. But it's just like, okay, it felt mad cheap. So Sue, I feel like Sue wouldn't feel cheap because Sue's on a dangerous battlefield. Regardless of how important we think or how important we deem said battlefield or said storyline, it's still a dangerous one. Neji's just didn't make sense. Because he didn't even die for you. What did he die to save some? Never mind. Yeah, I would be okay with it. I would be okay. It would hurt. It would hurt, but I would be okay. It wouldn't be like why'd you do that? That didn't make any sense. I'd be okay. Now, All For One, we got some talking to do. Because what are you doing? What are we doing? All For One is at the most 100, we'll say 150 years old, right? There you go. That has to be said out loud. I don't want Sue to die because Ochiko's trying to reason with Toga. I don't want Ochiko not like holding back and trying to make Toga realize something, and that results in Sue dying. That would totally contradict everything that Ochiko has been doing for the last 150 chapters, something like that. Not 150, 130. Right? I feel like it would, because Ochiko's on this whole kick of who's supposed to save the heroes. So to have Ochiko do something that directly results in Sue dying, it would be like character assassination almost at that point. Like, people already don't like her because why do people equate Ochiko to Sakura? Why do they do that? I don't know why. I feel like people that make that comparison, they either, like, there's not a lot of Ochiko in this series to read about. She doesn't have like these major arcs or anything. But when we do get Ochiko's story, it's definitely more interesting than Sakura, and she makes more sense than Sakura. I hate that comparison. I've seen that comparison a few times and I'm like, huh? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So it's like, for me, if Ochiko were to do something that would result in Asui dying, I feel like that would be the end. That would be character assassination. Nobody, like, people already don't like her because she's the female lead. You talking about hating her? She would be hated. She would be hated because a lot of people like Sue. People would hate her for real, for real. So I hope that's not what happens, right? I hope that's not what happened. That has to be said. It's a great point. Why not make All For One kill Sue, which gives Ochiko a quirk awakening, stopping the twice clones with All For One leaving? What would be a busted ability? I'm just not with the whole saving people mindset they have in this particular situation. Things are too crazy to be trying to save people right now. Way too crazy. What would be a busted? I'm trying to like equate Ochiko's zero gravity to like Shigaraki's what's his face? Dusting. Like, if see that that doesn't make it. I don't know how you would do that. We talked about this before, and I forgot the ideas that we came up with for Ochiko getting like her really cool quirk awakening. We definitely talked about this like last year sometime, and I don't remember what we came up with for her. Also, some people don't give a crap about the Ochiko Toga storyline, which results in them. Yeah, that's true too. It's like I care about the storyline. It's just we have way more interesting ones that's currently happening. So it's like if I'm like, I want to see what happens between Dabi and Endeavor. I want to see that. I want to see, of course, Deku and Shigaraki overall. I want to see like how All For One gets away. Like, there's so many more things I want to see than Ochiko and Toga. there's more things I care about than Ochiko and Toga. But I will say this little like Toga doesn't know what the hell is going on with the quirks, and I'm intrigued by this. I am intrigued, very much so. I'm intrigued very much so. Give her the gravity quirk, like Chuya from Bungo Stray Dogs. That would be that would be crazy. She could make things zero gravity and she can add gravity. Whoa. It's also because this Ochiko Toga storyline is kind of nonsensical to most people, especially because Toga is a murderer anyway. So it's like, even if you save her, she's still rotting in prison forever. I get that. I do get that. I get that. This is where something I'm thinking about. People that read comic books a lot, they struggle. I know I struggle with this about comic books, where comic book storylines can be some of the greatest stories ever, and then they have like the dumbest twist, or they're just how the storylines connect sometimes just absolutely suck. And the morality of a hero sometimes annoys the hell out of me too. So it's in real life, or realistically, the ideology, there we go. The ideology of a hero, for me, when I truly think about it, doesn't really make sense, because like in fictional standpoint, a hero is supposed to figure out how to solve the problem without sacrificing life in a lot of cases. And that just becomes problematic because like for real, if you think about it, bring up Batman and the Joker. Batman's my favorite superhero. It's Batman, then there's a chasm, and then there's everyone else. I love Batman. But if you just want to hypothetically start at the beginning, Batman is a vigilante, runs around, beats people up, puts them in jail. Joker, first encounter, Joker is responsible for killing a few people, and Batman catches him, beats him up, puts him in Arkham, and then we throw the key away, right? Joker then breaks out. And then upon Joker breaking out, goes on a mass murder spree and kills 50 people, let's say. And then we catch Joker and we put him back in jail. At that point, I'm like, why are we putting him back in jail? We know he killed the first few people the first time. We put him in jail. Due process. He broke out. He skipped due process. He killed more people. So now we're going to put him back in jail to do due process again? No. Get rid of this dude. This guy needs to die. But then he breaks out again and then hijacks TV and puts Joker gas over all the city, and thousands of people die. Kill him. Right? This is the entire reason for the Red Hoods. It is. Kill him. Like, individuals like that. Oh, my Discord just crashed. Individuals like that, they honestly, like, people could be like, oh, you're not judge, jury, and executioner. Well, I don't stand for a murderer, right? I don't stand for a murderer sticking around when they don't need to be here. like we know you killed. There is no due process for you. That's the thing for me. There's no due process for you. We know you killed. We know you want to kill. And we know that you'll kill again if given the chance. All right, I'm back. Discord crashed. So we should be good. Let me know. Let me hop in and see at least. Okay. But so it's like, yeah, so when when you take what this series is about superheroes. So that ideology, that ideology of what a hero is, like to capture but not kill, to save the day without causing the least amount of damage and all that stuff. That exists in this series a little, like it exists in this series. That's what the heroes are supposed to do. That's what the society holds the heroes to do. But then when you have your Hawkses that are murdering people and get caught and people don't like it, when you have like these examples that break that shell, like that's something you have to deal with in story. But then you also have to tack on the tropes of this thing being a shonen series as well. So it's like for me, the whole hero ideology thing, I don't really sign up for. So having these characters like bound by this ideology, and then you add on the stereotypes of a shonen, it's got the clamps on this thing. So it's like I don't want a character to die or get hurt because of this weird hero ideology that I feel like is just nonsensical and in some points. Like all of the people in the League of Villains, we know that they've killed, we know that they've thought about the people they've killed, and we know that they've chosen to kill again. Due process, I don't think we need to do due process for them. I feel like that hero ideology for these people, I feel like we should just clean slate. But then you have people on the other side being like, well, what gives you the right to do that? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is we need to clean the streets. It's like we need to clean the streets. Yes, the unfortunate reality of it is. This series has the handcuffs of being child friendly. Superheroes. It's superheroes. It's superheroes. It's like, I feel like if you want to have the conversation, I feel like if the anime wasn't child friendly, and we know that it has the kid time slot in Japan, like it's for like children, it has that time slot. It's the reason why they had to have the recap episodes for every season. It's the reason why a lot of it has been censored because of the child friendly it's been put on it. You can argue that if it wasn't child friendly, the anime probably wouldn't be continuing. Right? You could argue that. I honestly think if it didn't have that time slot, it wouldn't have made it. The manga would keep going. I think the anime would have been done by season 2 or 3. I think it's because it got the battery in its back. If they were in the US, people would be like, hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I agree. From the villain side, Dabi, All For One, Shiggy, absolutely, 100%. So All For One, what is it? Is hubris? What is the definition of hubris? I feel like I know it, but I don't remember it. Oh yeah, his hubris for sure. Like his hubris is gotten him jammed up for real. Like for real. For a second, this right here, I glanced at this, and this looked like a baby. This right here, this looked like a baby. The rock on the right side of him, it looks like a baby. But his hubris has caused him to rewind. He looks like a teenager. Like I don't even know like what to pin it. I don't even know like what age am I supposed to think he is. He looks like a teenager. I won't say that. You know what? He looks like he's the same age as Shigaraki. I'll say that. Mid 20s. Because Shiggy's like 24 or something. Him and Dabi are like the same age. And they're both like 23, 24, 25-ish. Something like that. He looks like he's the same age as Shigaraki. Early to mid 20s. Which is a lot right? That's a lot. Because All For One, a guesstimation, has been around since quirks have been existing. I'll say that, but he's definitely over 100. Max 150, right? Max 150. Depending on how old he was when he met the doctor. I think that all depends on how old he was when he met the doctor and when the doctor gave him his quirk to not age for sacrificing physical abilities. Just depends on how old he was. I would assume he was in his 40s when he met the doctor, maybe 40s. He looked like anytime we see All For One in flashbacks, he looks like he's in his 40s. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if All For One, how would that work? How do you think the Dawn of Quirks worked? Do you think All For One was one of the first babies that got born with a quirk? Because the first baby got dealt a raw deal. He just was glowing. Right? The first baby that was ever born with a quirk just glowed. Came out the womb just illuminated. Do you think he was one of those first kids that first generation popped out and he was just like, oh yeah, I got this? Maybe. I would assume yes. I would assume that. Weird comparison. I would treat All For One like a millennial. Millennials know what life was like before technology really became a factor in every single household, but they've most of their life has been spent in an era where technology has reigned supreme. So it's like I feel like in my head canon, I would equate All For One to being like that, where maybe he can remember life where there wasn't that many quirks, but majority of his life was spent with quirks. Well, majority of his natural life before he met Dr. Ujiko was spent with quirks, but he can remember a lot of people not having quirks, like grown-ups and stuff like that, not having quirks, but younger people having them. That's just my headcanon, though. I'm not basing that off of anything we know from the series. That's just me thinking. But he's rewinded a lot. And I don't know how I feel. All right? Being honest, I usually like everything that my hero does. I usually don't have a negative. I'm not saying it's a negative yet. But last week I remember saying, you know what? This All For One situation can't keep going on. And the last thing I need is to be... See, I can't say that out loud. There's just this thing where... Why does this... I feel like I talked about this before. It irritates me. Why do shonen series have to end so convoluted? Why can't it just be bad guy fights good guy and good guy wins, or bad guy wins? Why can't it just be that? Why does everything have to turn into the final villain rewinding into a baby, or the final villain absorbing something and becoming a big monstrosity, or the final villain turns into the planet? Like, why does it have to be that? All right, why can't we just get the good guy just beats the villain? I never understood that. It's annoying. Like, Dragon Ball is my favorite series ever. I hate that there's one arc that doesn't end in the Spirit Bomb. I hate it. It's annoying. There's one or two arcs that don't end with the Spirit Bomb. Everything has to be convoluted. The most powerful thing ever that we all got hyped over end up not working, and then we had to use the power of friendship and all this stuff to win. Like, I'm tired of that. Maybe shonens just aren't for me. But I genuinely, I hate that. I hate that ending for everything. I'm still holding my breath and waiting to see how this All For One situation is going to end, because clearly it's going to end some way. But do you think I'm a fan of, I'm not really cool with All For One being, like, he could have left a long time ago. But now he's leaving and we have all of these people chasing him while he's steady ticking down, turning, like, the next time, by the time he gets to Shigaraki, what he's going to be, 7? I don't care to see All For One as a baby. I don't care. I don't care to see that. I don't care what little kid All For One look like. But we're gonna see it, right? I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna see it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Maybe we get a moment where All For One shows up on the battlefield, right? And Deku looks at him, and Yoichi's in there like, my brother. It's like we get a, that would be a, could that be it? Could All For One rewind into like a kid, and then Yoichi inside Deku looks at All For One and we get a flashback because of it? Could that be the case? And we get the flashback scene to whenever they were reading their little comic books together, and All For One was like, yeah. And Yoichi's like, yeah, you didn't finish reading it, blah, blah, blah. Like, and we get to see the moment where Yoichi finishes the book and All For One just walks off because he's like, oh, the bad guy wins. So, I don't know. But as dorky and dumb as that sounds, I feel like that could happen. I do. I feel like that could happen. I just want one of these arcs to just end in a way that's not convoluted. Right? Especially if, like, we're getting closer to the end. I don't know. It always happens in every shonen series. The ending of the series is always super convoluted. And, like, I don't remember the last shonen that I've read. Maybe you guys have. That ended just fine. That wasn't a bunch of just a bunch of stuff thrown together. Shonen endings feel like MCU endings, right? MCU movies, they all end the same way. We have a great story, and then you get to the third act, and 100 people come out of nowhere, charge, and they go, and they all fighting, and then our hero is fighting the bad guy over here somewhere else. They almost all end that way. It's like I'm tired of it. I'm legit tired of it. Like, I just want an ending to a series where, like, perfect way this ends is if all the battles on the battlefield conclude. Heroes are victorious, yay! And then completely removed from everyone else, Deku and Shigaraki / All For One have their climactic final battle on their own, and then the winner gets to emerge from that battle and do whatever they need to whatever. So if, like, you want to end the series dark, All For One takes one for all, kills Deku, and then wreaks havoc over the whole world, and then that's how My Hero ends. Or you have Deku beat Shigaraki / kill Shigaraki and All For One, and the threat of All For One and Shigaraki has been ridded from the world, and we can just give Deku back to everyone else. That's just, like, I just want a series to end that way. Why do I need the power of friend? I hate the power of friendship. I do. I hate the power of friendship, because it's not, like, even if you try to disguise the power of friendship, it still shows up as the power of friendship. Like, I want this right here to end with All For One getting away. That's it. All For One gets away, and then they're just like, damn, we can't do anything. and then it's just like, we can't get to them, we can't do anything. They turn their efforts to resolving the other battles on the battlefield. Endeavor and Dabi have their fight, and they both die together. That's the conclusion of that. Ochako and Toga end their match, and Toga winning, but Toga like realizing more about herself, and then she just disappears, and we never, like, she just gets away from everything, and we just get a panel of her somewhere else at the end of the series. Like, that concludes like that. You have all the other battles just conclude. Just have them conclude. There's nothing wrong with just ending these fights. They don't need to drag on. And I feel like something, it's like we got to drag it on. We have to drag it. No, end it. You can end the fight. You can end it. A lot of these battlefields, just end it. We beat all the villains. We beat them up and we apprehended them. The fight is over. We don't need phase 3 as Dabi rises from the ashes again. We don't need that. We don't need that. And it's something like that's gonna happen. Oh, we dealt the decisive blow, and then from the ashes, from the grave, the final villain rises again. And now we all have to bind and band together in order to like fight back. I'm tired of that. Stop the convolution. I feel like I say this for everyone. If 1v1 as it stands right now between Shigaraki and Deku, if Deku beats Shigaraki head up, that's not we're not pulling that from thin air. That's not an impossibility. It isn't. It's not diminishing Shigaraki in any way, shape, or form if he just were to straight up lose to Deku. I feel like is that an issue that these authors come into? It's like, we write our villain so strong that our heroes aren't strong enough. I feel like that doesn't exist for this, because we did write Shigaraki so strong, and then now Deku is as strong. He just doesn't have the ability to disintegrate you. But Deku should be able to kill Shigaraki, and I feel like if he wanted to kill Shigaraki, it wouldn't diminish Shigaraki. It wouldn't. If anything, it would add the feat to Deku that he was able to do it. I don't know. It's hard. That's just how I view things. It's just how I view things. You can. Holy crap! You guys have been typing, and I haven't been able to see it. It's been stuck. Oh man. I've been like, you guys aren't saying anything, but it's been stuck. Hold on, I need to catch up. Shigaraki's 21-ish. I've been looking at the last comment I seen that you guys put in was, I remember, where was it? 4:46. What time is it? It's 5 o'clock. It's been 15 minutes. You guys been typing. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any. Oh, now I need to read. Hold on. Southern, catch up. Okay. Yep. Wow, John. It's crazy. Just desire to stun on everyone. I've been saying for the last 2 chapters. He could have just left. Yeah. Go on Photoshop. Add freckles to him. Make a video. You know it's crazy. You could. Shigaraki's 21-ish. Dabi's 25-ish. Okay. Could be older since he had a quirk which slowed his aging. Could be in his 30s. That is true. They said that they were. Yep. Still need to reveal on where quirks come from. I feel like Tori is just making up a reason for him not blasting through everyone and going to Shigaraki, which he can still do. Yep. Because everyone wants to subvert expectations and be different. All for one redemption arc. All for one needs some love. To me, this is just build up for an all for one it's finally desperate and tries to take control of Shigaraki by force him killed. Just to complete Shigaraki's character. Like a super contrived way to kill him off. Yeah. The only thing all for one achieve is being useless. Because my man has done nothing like kill someone. Kill some people or send a nuke or something. Decorating. That would be crazy. What if we want a sequel? Think of the merchandising. you see, yeah. At the end, oh, My Hero Deku Dash shows up. He'd be the main villain for the sequel. Be serious, Hori is prolonging this just so he can find a way to bring Bakugo back into the fight in a way that won't make everyone drop the series. Yeah. Yeah. That's how I'm viewing it. It's been set up. We know that we are close to the end, but we're not close enough to the end. So the fact that we're getting Deku versus Shigaraki right now, seemingly, that's not going to be their final encounter, because how many chapters ago did the second say you have 5 minutes? He told him he had 5 minutes, right? You have 5 minutes. You kill him now or the world is doomed. See, I just don't want it to be like contradictory, because the second out of all the All For One users has been the one that is the most sure about everything. He's not acting unless he knows it's going to be right. He prolonged Deku from using his quirk for the perfect moment. I don't want the second to be like, we're activating this now and then it not work and then we have to convolute our way into a victory. But that's what it seems like it's going to happen, because he's like telling Deku, you need to go. We haven't reached that point yet. We're still in the overdrive phase. Overdrive hasn't run out yet, because in real time, not in anime time, they're moving fast as hell. So 5 minutes to them is like, I don't know how long for us. 100 chapters probably. I'm hyperbole, but we haven't reached the moment where Deku is out of gas and he's out of commission. That's where I feel like Bakugo is going to come back into the fray. Deku he's going to reach that moment where he's out of gas and he's going to be staring Shigaraki or All For One in the face, charging him, and someone's going to have to step in to either sacrifice or fight back. And it's good. I feel like it's going to be All Might in his Iron Man suit, whatever's in that suitcase. It's going to be All Might. It's probably going to be a Bakugo. It's probably going to be other people from Class 1A if the other battlefields wrap up. And it's just how is Hori going to execute it so that you're not rolling your eyes at it, even though we're already kind of rolling our eyes at it. I think that's where we'll be. That's where we'll be. I would love if Bakugo is the one who 1v1 All For One, and at the end Shiki kills All For One. How would we feel about that? We rewind All For One to the same age as them and have him fight one of the kids and he loses. Where is New Order at? He slammed New Order into some random person, right? Yeah, he slammed in that little like seaside town. He took that person's quirk, slammed New Order into them, right? But then I'm pretty. Yeah, that person also dies. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I was trying to think where New Order was. Is it still in All For One? I thought New Order couldn't exist with another quirk. That's the rule she set on it. So it was just devouring All For One until there would be nothing left. So what he did was take a quirk from someone else and slam New Order into that person. And now New Order is just in that quirk chilling. That's what I thought. So like there is no way for All For One to properly use New Order in the way he would want to. Like he would be able to give it to someone or render someone quirkless and give it to them. I don't know. I have no idea. Hour and a half. Oh my gosh. What time is it? 5:11. Hour and a half. We get a flashback of Star making a rule saying New Order hide in All For One till Deku comes and join him. That would be some shenanigans afoot, boy. If Deku could get, you see now you're just, that's busted. That like Deku's already busted. It is cool, right? It is cool. Deku's already busted. Okay, I'm ending with this. It's a good like ending point. As all for right now, as we currently see Shigaraki and All For One, they are not unbeatable, right? Like Deku can beat them. I say yes. I say Deku, especially using Overdrive, Deku can kill them. They are killable. They are not untouchable like how it used to be, where we're looking at Shigaraki and we're like, I don't see how Deku beats them. Deku can beat them. I feel like if given the right circumstance, handily. Right? Handily. We haven't seen, that's true, we haven't seen Shiggy really use quirks either. But he doesn't have that experience to use the quirk. So, like, is he gonna be able to just pop them out? Like, he was struggling when Deku snatched them up in the air, and that was Deku before Overdrive, before Fajin, before the processing of all the quirks like he does now. And Shigaraki's like, back then, he's just in the air like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know which quirk to do. He doesn't have that experience. We haven't seen him gain that experience, really. Kinda, cause with the fight against Star and everything, but that's still like All For One and stuff. See, I don't know. So, as it stands right now, Shigaraki and All For One, they're not unbeatable. So I see no like reason why Deku would need New Order. But if All For One and Shiggy were to somehow evolve into unbeatable even for Deku right now, then getting New Order, that's even playing field. If not just completely overshadowing everything. One for All combined with New Order doesn't seem fair. It doesn't. It doesn't seem fair at all. It does not. Just like imagine what Deku can like. This is with New Order, because what Star was doing, I have to remember correctly. Star has the ability to use 2 rules simultaneously. One rule always made her comparable to All Might, like as comparable as possible, and then she would use the other rule for other things. All Deku would have to be like, I want to double myself. Like, you think about how crazy that could get. Think about how crazy that could get. Or I want to mimic the strength and speed of All Might on top of my own. Or something dumb like that. Like, that boy's imagination is out of this world. So you know he's going to come up with something that just doesn't make sense. Right? He would come up with something that doesn't, it would be literally, like, all of his quirks are bending, like, the laws of physics. Like, he's bending and breaking the laws of physics. So if he adds any multiplier on top of himself already, he's a world breaker. He would essentially be a world breaker. He can make himself strong enough to like punch he could make himself DBZ level, if we're being honest. If he had new Order, he legit could become a Dragon Ball character. He's on the verge of it. He could legit make himself a Dragon Ball character. And then what? That's why I feel like I don't see us getting new Order. Shigaraki would have to be like outright just busted, where we're looking at everything Shigaraki has and it doesn't make sense why he is this way, and he's unbeatable. And then you give Deku New Order and it's just like, oh, It's just two world breakers fighting each other, and we're hoping that they don't blow the planet apart. That's what that battle would become. If that's the case, if that's what Hori wanted to do, I don't see that happening. But if that's what he wanted to do, you talking about taking my shirt off and going down here, swinging my shirt, going crazy? Like, that would be me. That would be me if that were to happen. But I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I see this series ending with Class 1A beating the big villains. I see that and that being the way this ends. I do. Like, being realistic, it's class 1A or a Class 1A type, 4 or 5 of them beating the big bad villain. Rule 1, Tomoe Shigaraki will die if he moves. Yeah. Deku not doing that. Deku from the Dark Deku arc? Yeah. Everyone will die if he moves. Yeah. He would do it, but not game set. I don't know. I'm saying that Deku we still don't know where Deku's moral compass is. We still don't know where it is. Like, Deku still gets corrected on saying I instead of we. Like, that's just little details where I'm just like, that's like, I like that, where like before they started this battle and Deku's like, well, I'm gonna go do, and they're like, we, he like we'll go do that, or can I go on patrol? You go with him. He's just like, he's itching to get away from people because he wants to go do this. Like, he's still the same. He's just not wearing the dirty clothes anymore. Even though he had that heartfelt thing with what's his name? Aoyama. But that's still who he is inside. But it's just like Deku would come up with some crazy. Deku would come up with a rule. It's just like, why'd you come up with that? Oh, it's one of those, like, oh, I get it. It would be like some crazy rule that I don't know. If this series wanted to turn into a Dragon Ball fight, just I'm fine. I'm totally cool with that. I'll just say that. All right. I'm gonna get out of here. We've been here for an hour and a half. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Let me double check if the chapter is coming out next week. I didn't see. Yes, there's a chapter coming next week. So far, as it stands right now, there's a chapter coming next week. So call it there. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. And I'll see you back here next Sunday. Hopefully, God willing, I'll see you guys back here next Sunday for 383 of My Hero. So see you. Have a good one. And until next time, peace out.